All right, we're up. So anyway, let me do this. My battery is running low. What the hell? Hold on. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties today. Oh, because I'm not plugged in. Groovy. No wonder I had those issues before. Okay, so hey, I'm Michelle, and this is Live Life Whimsically. Here on my channel, I give commentary on other YouTube channels, religion, comedy, real estate, witchcraft. Sometimes I just drink and talk about what's happening in my own personal life. I have a journey with mental illness, and sometimes that's what it comes out about. It just depends. Whimsically is what I do. Please do your own research. Don't take anything I say as fact. Everything I do and say, if I clip something, it all falls under the Fair Use Act. It's just for comedy, entertainment, and educational purposes. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and remember to leave a comment if you would be so kind. So when I popped out earlier, and before I realized that my stupid computer was dying because I didn't have it plugged in, I just thought I would come out and talk about what happened yesterday when I popped into Nonsense's live stream. And like I said in the first one, I don't understand how people go live for several hours and then 4 or 5 hours later, they come back and they go live again. Like if you have, and a lot of creators say they have all this stuff going on in their lives. They have all this family, they have children, they have things they have to do. And then they're just their whole day is on YouTube. And I'm semi-retired, so I have time, but I got other stuff I want to do. I'm not just out on YouTube seemingly trying to make other people's lives as miserable as possible because that's how it looks to me. So what I wanted to address something that happened on her stream yesterday. I periodically go out there and just listen to what she has to say in hopes that one day I'll understand what's going on and what the whole beef between her and Molly Golightly is. And so I go out there and I look at stuff. And yesterday it was sort of a mix of her going at Molly and then with Penelope too. And listen, I am so new and new to all of it, and I don't understand any of it. And so I'm trying to understand, and I've asked questions and I don't get answers, so I have to surmise things because that I mean, people leave me no choice. I don't, and honestly, I am not going to go to all of these older channels that people are like. I'm not going out to Molly's channel and looking at everything because I'm not a fan of Molly's. There's some things that I find mildly amusing. Every once in a while, as she comes past my feed, I'll put her on and I'll look at her and I can only take it in small doses because, dude, I don't want to be yelled at all the time. And I feel like that's what's happening every time I look at that channel. So what I wanted to say is I'm like nobody special, but evidently people noticed me. Thank you very much. And I'm just like I said, trying to figure out the platform. I've had a channel since 2013, but I haven't done much with it. I've just started playing around with it here in the last year, like seriously, to just for shits and giggles. It's a whole nother form of social media. I love social media. I love reality TV, so the drama community really intrigues me to watch all that goes on. So I got introduced to Molly because of the Marvin McRae thing, because of Dre, because of Cece Suarez doing a dive on her, because of the paparazzi jewelry thing. So that's how I end up getting in there. And then you know how it is. You fall down a rabbit hole and you start seeing all this stuff. And then suddenly I see Nonsense just going at this woman. And in my opinion, what I noticed was there were other creators that were just as bad, if not the same. And it seemed in the very beginning when I watched the Nonsense that she was defending Katie Joy in such a in such a buffalo stance defensive posture, and I was like, do these people know each other? Is Nonsense Katie? I don't know. So I wanted to know, what was the deal? I just wanted to understand because I found both Nonsense Katie, Molly fascinating and entertaining to watch. But I thought all of these people are basically the same, really. I mean, you might not be a true crime person harassing people like Molly does, but you're for sure harassing these other people, but you're not harassing this person who's harassing other people. So I was so confused by the whole thing. Truly curious, not giving a fuck who was harassing who, really. I mean, if Molly was in my neighborhood harassing somebody two doors down, screaming with a bullhorn and doing that shit, that would fucking piss me off. I would videotape that and I would go after her because my real estate license pops into my head at that moment. And I'm like, nah, you're messing with my quiet enjoyment and I'm going to say something about it. But saying stuff about it because you feel like she's doing something that's harmful to the Dre McCray thing, I didn't quite understand. How is it harmful? I mean, Dre put her entire life out for public consumption. So to me, if anybody did anything wrong, it was her. The other thing I didn't really agree with Nonsense was, why are you going after these grieving parents that are going through some stuff? And please spare me the part about how she gave up her child. It doesn't freaking matter. I had a miscarriage 31, 32 years ago, and I still grieve that child every single day. Didn't have the kid in my possession, but I still grieve the child. Even if you give a child up for adoption, and give it up for adoption is kind of a strong word because she gave it to her mother to raise. Or gave him to her mother to raise. I don't see why going at this woman was the thing to do. It just seemed poor form to me to just treat this person, this family, this way. And we don't know the ins and outs of all of it. And every time I asked for what was going on or the receipts that Nonsense so famously likes to say in facts, I didn't see them. It was very confusing. It was quick screenshots. It was not full portions of screenshots. At least the things that I saw were that way. So I asked over and over again before I decided to make my own content. And yesterday I happened to pop into her live stream. And I asked again because she was talking about Penelope and how Penelope was accusing her, I think, because again, clear as mud, accusing Nonsense of being stalkerish towards her. I don't know if that's true. I really didn't see any evidence of that in what she or what Nonsense showed. I honestly thought when I read Penelope stuff on her community tab that she was talking about Michelle Sabate. And maybe that's what it was. And maybe we got it all wrong or they got it all wrong. Or maybe I'm confused because I'm fucking 61 and I don't get it. I don't know. But I thought that's what she was talking about. And so I asked, because it sounded to me like Nonsense was going to sue Penelope because she said when she was talking that Penelope's lawyer needed to pay attention to what was in the live stream. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe she has more receipts about this part and I'm going to ask. And right away she said, I don't even know why you're in here. You don't say anything nice or you're mean or you're saying bad things about me or whatever. And then immediately the moderators dropped on me and started saying those things too. And I was like, all right, then I'm just going to sit here and shut up and hopefully I'll understand by the end of it, which I did not. And the one thing I'm just going to say is they on Nonsense channel, they like to say that they don't care or they're okay as long as people are respectful about what's happening on the channel. You can disagree. Well, that's what I did. I disagreed. I asked. And it always sounded to me like Nonsense when she got really heated about it was super fucking angry. And maybe she wasn't. Maybe she's passionate. I can get that. I'm passionate when I say things too that really bother me. I can't stand injustice and I'll go crazy and sound like I'm coming after people when I'm not. That's part of my mental illness. So, maybe I am harsh, but I was harsh only after I asked. Like I started asking almost immediately in July or August, whenever I found her, and it might have been even later than that, I don't know. What can you just give me a cohesive timeline? It doesn't have to be a 6-hour fucking long thing that I got to try to watch and decipher while you pop from one topic to the other. I just want to know what happened. What was it about Molly that really fucking pissed you off? I mean, there's plenty of things to be pissed off about. Personally, I don't like the attacks towards people's looks and people's age, and I don't like how she dances very closely to being, well, it's mostly dog whistles. I don't know that I would call it complete racism on her page, but I've seen stuff that I didn't like. So, and I don't like her political views. I think that she's very misguided there. But that's my opinion, and everybody's allowed to have their own opinion about politics and how they feel. So I got called out specifically, and I got no answers yesterday. I just got attacked for what they thought perceived as my content being not kind or inaccurate on my page. You know why it's inaccurate? Because I don't understand what the fuck is going on, and I've only been asking since fucking July or August for somebody to explain it to me. No one has done that yet. Not one person. And and I'm also going to say thanks for the shout out to on your and putting my comment up there so that you could call me out, because I need all the help I can get. So keep doing that. And the other thing I'm going to say is I'm sorry you got doxxed during your live thing. I don't think that was right. I if you wanted to stay anonymous, you could. I didn't think it was a good look. I thought that being anonymous didn't really add a lot of credibility to what you were saying or whatever it is you were trying to do or still are trying to do towards Molly. I watched EKC did a stream or last night, which I missed, but I went back and replayed it just before I came out here, and it you know, for all of her flaws, she kind of made sense in what she said. And I know you or Nonsense went out there yesterday and was talking about how mad Molly wasn't spitting, but you do the same thing, dude. Like you scream and yell too when you get upset. So Molly's passionate, you're passionate, and there's an ass for every chair in YouTube. I really think that that's the thing. So that you got doxxed, I feel bad for that. I still don't know why she's your biggest target. I do think that, in my opinion, channels like you pick one person to hammer on, and that's your target. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was about Molly. I don't know if she messed with somebody you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't have to say that, but and I just didn't get it, and I didn't understand that how YouTube worked. And I think that watching it, I would have maybe handled things differently later about the way that I came at Nonsense, Contessa in particular. But, you know, I didn't. And here we are. So I'm just asking, since you did that, Becky, does that make you fair game too? I mean, I guess it would. I guess this makes me fair game, right? Do we just do that? I kind of, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. I really don't give a fuck what people think about me. So if people came at me or tried to ruin me in my business, I'm going to just tell you everything that I've ever done, wrong or right, has been used against me in my life. I have been called out on my job before. There were things that I did when I was younger, 20 years ago or so, when I was, involved in the swinging community. So if you find that out about me, here it is. I'm telling it to you. I got called out on a job. I got an email with pictures sent to my entire brokerage that showed me half dressed, singing and dancing in my living room with a bunch of other swingers. And it got sent to people that were very religious. And the only thing about that bothered me was that these people were religious, and it was offensive to them to have pictures of naked people being sent to them. And I felt terrible that happened, but I didn't do that. And I didn't lose my job either, because real estate agents are independent contractors. And unless I do something that is considered, you know, I don't even know what would happen, but they work for me. I don't work for them. I pay to belong to the brokerage I work for. So they get money off me every time I do any kind of a transaction. So they're not going to boot me out of there. I'm pagan. My entire family has disowned me 20 something years ago. My parents are dead. I have a kid that is a business owner, and he is so different from me. It's not even funny. And nobody gives a fuck what his mother does. I literally was just trying to understand. I say all that to just let you know that if you're going to come at me, it'll be helpful. I only have 66 fucking subscribers. So the more shit you say about me, the better it is. But, if you thought that what I was saying to you was like some kind of a personal attack at you, Contessa, it was never that. It was me just literally trying to understand until I figured out I'm never going to get an answer from these people. So let me go out on my wall and say what I think is going on in hopes that somebody would pop into my comments and tell me what was going on. And you know what I heard? That you just really hated Molly for some unknown reason. And people had so many ideas about who you were. They came into my chat and told me they thought that you were somebody else that got booted off, and they've like had different incarnations of this nonsense channel before, and that I mean there were so many just people guessing at who you were. So now that you were doxed out there and you're telling people who you are, maybe things will clear up. Maybe then, people will know what's going on. And maybe I'm just too fucking old and dumb to understand. But if you really want to clear it up, you could just give me kind of a timeline. I don't like that Molly asks for people to make it rain on her. I think that her subs, I think that's poor form. I don't like that she goes into neighborhoods and screams and yells with a bullhorn with that other bitch, Bullhorn Betty. I don't like any of that. But I don't understand why you think you need to go at people and then do the same things you say you don't want people to do. You hurt people, in my opinion. And you said you didn't come here for Molly, but that's all your content is about. So I'm just trying to understand. And if you don't want to answer me, I guess this one will go unheard as well. Anyway, Belora and I will be out here tomorrow talking about why we think marriage is dumb. So you have a good fucking day, because I'm going to have a good fucking day. And thanks again for shouting me out.